Welcome to Fix Yourself, where we bring you these topics to make you think and give you tools to live a stronger, more independent life. Today we're tackling a trap that's everywhere, but often goes unnoticed until it's too late. We're talking about manipulation. Whether it's in relationships, at work, in sales, in politics, or even within your circle of friends, manipulation is a tactic people use to influence you for their own benefit. Sometimes it's obvious and aggressive. Sometimes it's subtle and feels like genuine concern. But the end result is the same. You end up making decisions that benefit them more than you. In this video, we're going to explore 6 powerful techniques to avoid being manipulated. And we'll break them down into 6 big lessons so you can recognize the signs, protect yourself, and make choices based on what's right for you, not what's been planted in your mind. Let's get into it. Let's get into Lesson 1. Master the art of pausing before you react. One of the manipulator's favorite weapons is pressure. They want you to act fast before you think. You've heard it before. This offer is only good for today. If you don't decide now, you'll miss out forever. Or in personal situations, if you really cared, you'd do this immediately. This is called urgency manipulation, pushing you into a quick decision so you skip logic and rely on emotion. The easiest defense? Pause. Get comfortable saying, I need to think about this. Let me get back to you. I'll decide tomorrow. When you slow the pace, you take back control of the situation. You allow your brain to analyze instead of being hijacked by fear or pressure. In practical life, this pause gives you time to research, seek advice, compare options, evaluate how this decision affects you in the long run. Remember, if a decision can't survive 24 hours of thought, it's probably not worth making. Have you ever regretted a choice you made because you acted too quickly? Share your story in the comments. Lesson 2. Learn to recognize emotional hooks. Manipulators rarely attack your logic directly. They go for your emotions. They might try to make you feel guilty. After everything I've done for you, you won't help me. They might flatter you excessively to lower your guard. You're the only one smart enough to handle this. They might use fear. If you don't take this opportunity, you'll regret it forever. When you feel a sudden spike in emotion, whether it's excitement, guilt, or fear, stop and ask yourself, is this feeling being used to influence my choice? The key is to separate the emotion from the decision. If someone is genuinely offering you something valuable, it will still make sense once the emotion fades. In practical life, this means not signing contracts when you're overly excited, not lending money when you're drowning in guilt, and not committing to big changes when you're scared. When you control your emotional triggers, you control your decisions. Lesson 3. Demand clarity and evidence. A manipulator thrives in vagueness. They speak in half-truths, use emotional stories without proof, and make promises they never detail. You might hear things like, trust me, this will work out great. Everyone's doing it. I can't explain all the details now, but you'll see. This is a major red flag. If someone can't or won't give you clear, specific, and verifiable information, that's not trust. That's manipulation. Your defense? Ask direct questions and demand evidence. In practical life, this means asking for written agreements instead of verbal promises, checking references or reviews before committing, requesting numbers, data, or examples to back up claims. A manipulator will often get irritated or defensive when you push for clarity, and that's exactly how you know you're on the right track. Remember, honest people welcome questions. Manipulators avoid them. Lesson 4. Set and defend your boundaries. The most powerful tool against manipulation is having clear boundaries and sticking to them. Manipulators test boundaries slowly. They ask for just a little of your time, your energy, your money, and then more. If you say yes every time to keep the peace, you teach them that your boundaries are flexible. To protect yourself, you must know your non-negotiables. That could be not loaning money without a contract, not answering work calls after a certain hour, not making commitments on the spot. When someone pushes back, stay firm. You don't need to over-explain. A simple, "That doesn't work for me," is enough. In practical life, boundaries not only protect you from manipulators, but also earn you respect from genuine people who understand your values. Lesson 5. Identify and challenge false dichotomies. Manipulators often trap you with limited choices that make it seem like you have to pick between two bad options. They frame the situation as either or. You're either with me or against me. If you don't do this, you clearly don't care. This is called a false dichotomy, and it's designed to corner you so you'll choose the option that benefits them most. In reality, there are almost always more than two choices. Your defense is to step back and look for hidden alternatives. Ask yourself, is this the whole picture, or is someone limiting my perspective? What third or fourth option could I create here? In practical life, this could mean negotiating for terms that work for you instead of accepting an all-or-nothing deal. Refusing to take sides when both options are flawed. Creating your own solution instead of choosing between two pre-made ones. When you refuse to be boxed into false choices, you remove one of the manipulator's strongest tools. Lesson 6. Trust behaviors over words. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing everything they hear without checking what they see. Manipulators are skilled at saying the right things. They'll promise loyalty, talk about shared goals, or swear they're acting in your best interest. But their actions will tell you the truth. The key is to watch for consistency between words and behavior. Do they follow through on what they say? Do they respect your boundaries when you set them? Do they show patterns of honesty, or do they forget details often? In practical life, this means you don't commit to deals, partnerships, or relationships until someone's actions prove their intent over time. A manipulator can fake sincerity for a short while, but patterns always reveal themselves. And when you make decisions based on proven behavior rather than persuasive words, you make yourself far harder to deceive. Final closing message. So now, we have 6 powerful techniques to protect yourself from manipulation. 1. Pause before reacting. Recognize emotional hooks. 3. Demand clarity and evidence. 4. Set and defend your boundaries. 5. Identify and challenge false dichotomies. 6. Trust behaviors over words. These skills work in business, relationships, negotiations, and everyday life. Because when you protect your time, your clarity, and your emotional balance, manipulation loses its grip. Here at Fix Yourself, we want you to live with both confidence and awareness, so you're never controlled by someone else's hidden agenda. If this content gave you value, take action now. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the tools that make you stronger and harder to influence. Your mind is your greatest asset. Protect it. We'll see you in the next one.